doing a lot of lately?
What?
I've been not giving a fuck.
Uh-huh.
And it's almost like I'm in a fuck famine right now.
A fuck famine.
A fuck famine. Like, I went to my fuck garden where my fuck crops are, and there wasn't a single fuck seed to be had. Like,
I've been noticing I've been going through a fuck famine as well.
Dude, I'm telling you, call it climate change or whatever. There is a fuck famine going on.
Climate change.
Like, not a
That's what's starting the fires in Canada is the fuck famine.
Yes, no one is giving a fuck, and it's killing all of our fuck crops. It's like, Lauren, I swear to God, I searched the house, I looked in my shoes, not a single seed of a fuck to give. Not one. I have 0 fucks.
Dude, I checked Quinn's PlayStation 5. I checked the roof. No fucks anywhere.
Yeah, not a single fuck anywhere. And you know what? I'm cool with it. I've been living without fucks for a while, and I'm like, I could get used to this.
We've adapted to, I can't even find giving a shit either. Like, all my shits that I'm supposed to give, don't know where those are either.
Oh yeah, the shits, the fucks, we're done. We're out.
Yeah. We are fresh out. We're like the grocery store when they had no toilet paper, right at the beginning of the pandemic.
Oh yeah, no, like, I am in a true fuck famine. And here's
there's
the thing.
Cobwebs.
Yeah, like cobwebs, like I don't care. It's like, good, the fucks are gone. I'm living my life. So, whatever.
Life's easier without a bunch of fucks to give.
Honestly, it really is, because you have to tend to the fucks, you gotta water the fucks, you gotta nurture the fucks, and it's
you gotta fertilize them. You have to buy special fertilizer for the fucks.
Yeah, and it's like, do you know how much money I've saved by not giving a fuck? It's amazing.
I know. And shits too. I mean, having both at the same time, you're basically broke from giving a shit and a fuck.
And you know what? I'm fine. I'd rather be a happy broke bitch than be pouring all my energy into fucks,
I would rather lay starfish in the middle of grass than give a single shit or a single fuck.
Welcome back to the Gemini archives, everybody.
Welcome back.
I'm sorry.
And that's the end of our show. We'll see you later. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that was it. It has been a minute and a half.
Okay, no one's saying anything. It's fine.
Yeah. Here's the thing. So, I think we said, I don't know if we actually exclusively said this in the last episode, but we were like, the next episode we want to do is going to be about the Backrooms movie, because that came out the day after our birthday. Oh yeah, our birthday happened. Happy birthday to us.
We were going to do a birthday episode and that didn't happen.
Yeah, no, we got so busy. Like, end of May, like the whole month of June, just about. Today we're recording this, it is July 16th. It is 2 days before our father's birthday.
Happy birthday, Dad.
Happy birthday, Dad. But yeah, no, we just got so... Well, you and Quinn more so than me, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, we were going to a bunch of places, and like, when was it? 2 weeks ago, we went to Mystic Aquarium, and because Quinn's never been. I liked Mystic Aquarium, but it was the day after we had that giant hailstorm, which we haven't even talked about, on the 4th of July, and then it was rained for like 3 days after that. So everyone and their kids within a 100-mile radius of the aquarium were there that day. And that was hard. It's okay, but I still saw belugas, and it was great. So, and if anyone doesn't know, the beluga whales at Mystic Aquarium, they're like water dogs. They are the cutest things on the planet. They're like, they show off for everybody. They're like rubbing up against the glass because it's this big, giant like enclosure where you could walk right up to the glass and they come right up to you, and it's really cool. And it's all outside. It's not inside. So, we were just, faces on glass, wide-eyed, so excited to see beluga whales. So that was fun. And then we went we had lunch on like a boat dock, and that was really nice. So
yeah,
that was a good day.
Looked really good.
Yeah, and we've been getting a bunch of stuff because we're going on a trip next month, and then we're going on a trip in October. So back to Utah. So we've been busy from like now until January 1st. I am busy. So we're going to have to try and fit like a couple episodes in before the end of the year because I literally won't have any time.
Yeah, or maybe I'll have on a guest with me or something, because I know one of those trips is going to be, back to the West Coast. So
yeah, like I said, I'm going back to Utah in October. So
yeah, so I don't know. Maybe we'll have another guest on. Who knows? Maybe we'll go 6 months without doing an episode. We'll go for a record this time. Fuck it.
Yeah. Well, our record was a 3-year hiatus, or 2 years. Sorry.
Yeah, that was bad. Yeah. That was a long. We thought the podcast was done, but
I know, because I moved and I'm like, I don't know if we're ever going to do this again, but I'm glad that didn't happen. I'm glad we made it work. So
yeah, me too, because we have so much to talk about today. But before we get into everything, like I said, we've been busy, and in that time I did a couple shows too. I was on the Shredbeard channel. We did the interview with Eric Mintel, paranormal investigative team out of Pennsylvania. I'm going to link that if you would like to check that out. It was me and Miss A interviewed him. And then I did one, I joined them for an interview with a friend of the show, Chris Gamble of Bloodstorm Agoraphobia.
Hi, Chris. Quinn and I were there for that one, running them up in the chat. Sorry, everyone.
No, it was great, because I know Chris is like, oh, where's Lauren and Quinn? And I'm like, you guys should watch. And guys were cracking me up. And of course, I'm trying to listen and be attentive. And all I see is Quinn talking about power tools. And
yeah, that was him. That was not me.
Yeah. And the vanilla extract of evil came back up because of Paul.
Oh my God. That was just a passing joke. And funny enough, speaking of which, because that came from when we talked about the Warrens Occult Museum.
Oh, yes.
In a second, we're going to go into something related to that. So.
Oh, it gets good. So. Yeah. But yeah, no, that's just, I'll have a link below if you want to check them out. I did some live streams and stuff. And I should be going back on Welcome to Hell, doing another black metal playlist soon-ish. I don't know. We talked about it. And I'm trying to think, what else happened in that time? I'm trying to remember. I think, on my end, that's pretty much it. But I know you guys have been out in the world actually doing things. And
yeah, we've been busy. It's been a busy few months. So
yeah,
and it's gonna just be busy from now until the end of the year as well. And come January 1st, don't ask me to do a thing. I'm taking my I know I got married 3 years ago, but my husband and I are finally taking our honeymoon next year, because we can actually afford it. We're taking a 2-week honeymoon. I'm not saying where yet, but we know where we're going. So
yay!
Sometime in September. So no one's joining us. It's our fucking honeymoon, and we're going to have a great time. Anyway.
You should have seen Lauren's face when she said that. She's like the biggest shit-eating grin ever. Just like, I don't know why I said that, because literally no one else could see that except you.
Well, listen, if we ever release these Google Meets videos, they could see it.
Oh, God.
No, don't release it. I look like shit on top of ass on top of crap, I look terrible.
I know. I literally just got out of the shower, so, oh, God, I almost just knocked my glasses off.
My hair's wet.
Yeah, my hair is wet. I'm literally straight up in pajamas right now.
Also, it's so dark in my living room. You could see my skin because I'm so pale right now, and that's it. Yeah. You can't see anything else except my blinds and my skin.
Yeah, because right now we're dealing with those wildfires in Canada, and it is just abysmal. It is so disgusting outside. Even, our house, the windows aren't airtight. So little particles, I feel like have been getting in and stuff, and I've been coughing like a motherfucker. So
I know, and I've had such a bad headache. I got a migraine yesterday, and it's still kind of there. So it's I know it's terrible. And I was used to this in Utah, but this was bad because it's really close. Yeah. In Utah, it wasn't as close to us. It was in the general area, but never got super close to us anyway. This is really bad, and Utah just has bad air quality all the time, anyways. So.
I think this is only, they said it's going to be kind of on and off for a few weeks. So it'll eventually clear up, because I remember it was a couple years ago, I think it was 2023. It was bad. It was 2 months of just bullshit. It was terrible. So this at least won't be as long, but yeah, it's pretty bad. And then, it's the air quality is so terrible here. It's everybody's outside today. In true Gemini Archives fashion, our neighbors decided to mow their lawn right when we wanted to record.
I swear, we live on an Indian burial ground. It's like every time we try to do anything to this house, something bad happens. It's like someone else needs to do it because we are cursed. So I wish the person who owned my voodoo doll would take the fucking pins out of it already. Like, I get it. Thanks. You know?
Dude, that's how I feel too, you know, because between that and they're doing construction in the parking lot next door, we had a bunch of hail on the 4th of July, which we
oh my God, that was crazy. Everyone thought we got a tornado, but it was just bad wind with hail because we just got done with the heat wave and it went down like 30 degrees after that. It got from the 90s to the 60s. So that's how hail forms. And it literally, we just put in a new air conditioner in our room. Whole back of it got destroyed. So I had to buy a net to put on the back of it now so that doesn't happen again. But I'm like, of course, it's the week we put it in gets destroyed.
Like, I know. I was terrified because I have a skylight in my living room and I'm like, oh my God, it's going to bust my skylight open. And luckily it only got like scratched a little. Yeah. Like kind of like, you know, if you wear glasses and you kind of get scratches on them. So it's not like it didn't break. It's just like a little like, you know, like scratch. So, you know, it's fine. You know, I haven't had any leaks or anything, which is good. But like,
I know, and miraculously too. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, thank God, because you know, we sustained minimal damage aside from your air conditioner.
Yes, I was just going to say, my husband's car was in the driveway. He could have put it in the garage, but when we got home, we didn't know it was going to hail, so it was just out there. And by the time it started, like, he couldn't put it in the garage fast enough because he would have got hurt. So his car, no damage. Our roof and both skylights, because we have a skylight in our hallway too, no damage. Everything else was fine, except my air conditioner had hairs in the back where like the coils are. So that's really cool. It still works, but it just looks ugly. Yeah. And they say to get a cover for it. So like if it rains over time, it doesn't rust. So that's why we got a cover and put it on. And it's like PVC and it's got holes in it and stuff. It's really nice. You could get them on Amazon if anyone needs an air conditioner cover just in case. But yeah, that was the only damage we had. We didn't lose power. Like the whole state practically lost power for 5 days, but we got lucky. Our street didn't lose power.
Yeah, no, we were, thank God, because between that and all the water issues we've been having, because they've been flushing the hydrants for like 6 months, it's just like it's been nonstop around here. We're just like, what the fuck? Like, get it together. You know, like
it's also a Mercury retrograde right now, and I don't want to hear from anyone that it doesn't exist, because explain all this shit. Explain why the pandemic happened during a Pisces retrograde. I would love for someone to explain to me how else that happened. You know
what's funny? I just said that to Mike last night. I was like, I want everyone to remember that the pandemic happened during a Pisces retrograde, because it's so true.
Yeah.
Like
water retrogrades especially. They're destructive.
Oh, they're bad.
Yeah.
But with that being said,
yes.
Speaking of last night, I was just perusing social media and this article came up and I about hit the deck because it was an article, and we're going to link it down below, about the Conjuring House. And we had talked about it briefly, and I forgot what episode, a previous episode, maybe the one with that, right?
We were going to talk about it like in depth, but there was so much stuff to it. We're like, it's not even worth it now. So, but back in send this, I was asleep when you sent this to me yesterday because of my migraine. But this morning when I woke up and saw this, I was like, holy shit. So the Conjuring House, you know, who was owned by that crazy ass lady who was just, you know, I forgot what she was really doing. She was just like exploiting it, and, you know,
she wasn't taking care of the property.
Yeah, and she was
letting it deteriorate. She was deemed not mentally competent enough to own and operate the Conjuring House as it is. So I believe, and I'm paraphrasing here, and, you know, you can look this up, but the state of Rhode Island, you know, basically was like, you need to surrender this house because you are not fit to take care of it. So who swoops in and tries to buy it? Jason Hawes from Taps, you know? And we had talked about how Jacqueline, who was the previous owner of the house, was attacking him specifically. And he was trying to protect the integrity of the house because, you know, Taps is one of the original paranormal investigative.
Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know what Taps is, they're part of that show Ghost Hunters, right?
Ghost Hunters.
I would say Ghost Adventures. Ghost Hunters on Sci-Fi. That used to be really popular like 20 years ago. It's Jason Hawes is one of the founders of TAPS, and just that's who he is, and that's why he's like trying to get this property, because he understands spirit, he understands haunted locations, and everyone wanted him to have it, just so it was in better hands.
Yeah, and he obviously takes this seriously. He has respect for, you know, the paranormal and stuff. He's just a much better fit to be owning and operating a place like this, you know?
And his daughter works there too, or worked there. I don't know if she does anymore.
Yeah, I think she worked there at one point, but had problems with Jacqueline like everyone else did.
Yeah.
But the problem with this is that it's not technically his right now. There's an ongoing legal battle, and because there's other people trying to buy it, and you know who it is? Those two dumb fucks that bought the Conjuring House, Matt Rife and the other guy, I can't remember.
You mean the Warren's Occult Museum?
What did I say?
The Conjuring House.
Yeah, the Warren's Occult Museum. Sorry.
Yeah, Matt Rife, and I forgot who cares about the other guy? He was some viner.
Something. What the hell was his name?
I don't know.
Care. It's in the article somewhere.
But Matt Rife, you know, infamously known for believing the paranormal was stupid, all of a sudden wants to be in control of all this stuff. It's like, just because you have money doesn't mean you need to do stuff like that with it. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous.
So some rich young kid who's not from this area wants to come here and buy all the haunted properties. It's like, no, like what? For clout? For TikTok views? Get the fuck out of here. You know, like we're not dealing with that. So Jason is fighting a long legal battle. He's been going to court and working with, you know, the state of Rhode Island, and just like, you know, it's an ongoing thing. But, you know, he also has a lot of people rallying behind him right now. So we're thinking like, you know, the public influence alone will help determine that he will be the owner, because, you know, they might not get business if they give it to the other guys, you know? Yeah. And apparently they were doing like some shady shit too, like, you know, trespassing on the property, or having people go there and like evaluate the property for them, like stuff they weren't supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's not okay too. And like that needs to be taken into consideration. It's like, why are you going to grant someone who's, you know, basically breaking laws to get this property? Why are you going to grant it to them? It doesn't make sense.
I know.
You know? So when Jason is, if not more popular than these guys, you know, and everything is numbers and popularity nowadays. Like,
it's not even just popular. He's more respected in the paranormal community than Matt Rife is, who everything's a fucking joke to this little comedian motherfucker. Like, you know, it's none of his business to be getting involved in that stuff. Jason Hawes grew up in Rhode Island. He's a New Englander.
Yeah.
He knows the history. He knows all about this fucking area when it comes to paranormal activity and the history of it. And it's like, obviously he's a better fit. It's like, why are we going to give it to these two fucking clowns? You know, like the people who own the Warren's Occult Museum now, they're out of their mind. Like they're just, you know, parading Annabelle around now and taking her to conventions and all this stuff. I'm like, that is so dangerous. You know, someone could get hurt, you know?
Yeah, not only is it dangerous, but you're treating it like a joke. You know, when this is like, and to be fair, you know, I've expressed before, I think Ed and Lorraine were a little wacko, you know, like I think they just, you know, like had very antiquated views on some things, and, you know, maybe a little hokey at times, but, you know, for the most part, a lot of people that they associated with are legitimate, you know, paranormal investigators and people in that realm. So,
and let's be clear, it's really Ed. Lorraine just kind of went along with it, because when we met her, she's not like him at all. He was the hokey and the, you know, I know how to get rid of spirits kind of it was weird, you know.
He also wore like a priest collar and stuff and wasn't a priest, you know, stuff like that. It's like, you know, and she's a clairvoyant, or was a clairvoyant, I'm sorry, she's passed. And, you know, I remember talking to her, and it was like, you know, you could just tell she was a very authentic type of person. So it sucks because there's like, you know, parts to them that are a little, you know, like, I'm trying to think of like a good word, like phony, I guess. But like, there was a lot of like legitimacy to what they did, but it's like, you know,
they were in it for the money.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. Everything was money, you know, and that's how everything is now. It's just about money and views and fame and all this stuff. It's like, I just don't care anymore.
Yeah, in that regard, Matt Rife and the other dude were good fits for the, the Warren's Occult Museum, because Tony Spare has been allowing YouTubers and people to come in and, have overnight investigations, quote unquote, and shit like that. So, he's very much, okay with that. But the Conjuring House is different. There was people, that was somebody's home at one point, like in fair, the Warren's Occult Museum was Anna Lorraine's home for so long, and then
but the museum was
Tony's,
away from the actual house. I mean, you could get to it through the house through a long hallway, but it wasn't like a part of the house. It was next to the house. The Conjuring home, though, that was a house that people lived in for years. It's crazy.
And it needs maintenance like any other home. Like, it needs maintenance. It needs someone that's competent to take care of it and stuff. I don't think, because Jacqueline did the previous owner, she did a lot of damage to the house. Mm-hmm. And by damage, I mean just not maintaining it and then causing problems as a result. So, it's like we need someone who, and Matt probably has, like, and the other guy, they have, the financial means to fix it up and do all this shit, I'm sure. But, like, at what cost? They're going to let people come in and just, gallivant around and make jokes and do that. And it's just like, it's just embarrassing.
It is. And now they're trying to turn them into Airbnbs, at least from what I heard, at least for the Conjuring House. That's what they want to do with it, is turn it into an Airbnb instead of a preserved home for education purposes. And they're moving the Warren's Occult Museum to Salem, Massachusetts now. I don't know if we talked about that and how, if we even talked about that last podcast, but yeah, they're moving it in September. Yeah, they're moving the museum in September all the way to Salem. All that haunted stuff from, like, rituals and all that, like, all going all the way to Salem. That's like a 3-hour drive, 3.5 hours actually. Because
it's
where
long.
we live, it's 2.5 hours, to get to Salem. From Monroe, which is an hour west of us, 3.5 hours. They got to drive that all the way across Connecticut and into Massachusetts. So that's going to be great for us,
Yeah. No, we're just fucked. So
we're fucked. I know. In every hole, every which way to Sunday. So.
I mean, when I saw that last night, I had a glimmer of hope. I was like, the earth is healing, because,
I mean, honestly, listen, even with politicians, the earth is healing. I'm not going to get into it, but thank God, I
know. Thank God. But, like, it's like, okay, good. Like, we're on the track to having him, be the owner of the house. But, like, at the same time, it's like, there's always something that gets in the way,
I know.
And it's just like these two fucks. It's like, why are we going to give these to these two dudes who, like, who are they in relation to the Conjuring House? Like, Jason has a history with it. They've done investigations there. His daughter works there. I don't know if she still does, like you said. But, it's like he has history with the house. It's like, it just makes sense.
I know.
And he's definitely much more well-spoken than the other two. Like, from what I could see, like, he, is a goddamn professional. So let him have it. Do something right for once, America, and just let Jason Hawes have the Conjuring House. Because then it would just be preserved as a museum, and it'll be protected and no one can fuck with it again. Mm-hmm. And it would be great,
Right.
So let's hope, if there's any more updates, we'll come back with them and we will let you guys know. But
yeah,
we had to talk about this because I was like, oh, hell yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, finally. And you called it, though, Lore.
Yeah.
Like, I think you were the one that said, like, I wish Jason Hawes would own the house or something like that.
I said that because, he was actively involved in, trying to get Jacqueline out of the fucking house, for, getting to sell the house. He was with a bunch of other people rallying behind, like, the history of the house. Well, she was just destroying it, and I'm like, I just wish he would just take the house over, which, thank you for my prayers being answered, because it happened. So
I know. Thank God. So that's very exciting, and we will keep you posted on that. But I think we should take a break because we are finally going to get into the Backrooms movie, which we just saw 2 days ago.
Yes, I know, because it finally came out to buy. It's not streaming yet; it's just to buy. and we bought it, and we're like, we have to watch this movie. It was so good. It was better than I thought.
Desperately tried to, get over to the theater and to see it in theater. It just, like we said, we are so fucking busy. There was just we did not have time. Mm-hmm. Plus, honestly, cheaper just to buy it and stream it.
And people just are obnoxious at the movies now. Obnoxious. I heard so many horror stories of people trying to go see the Backrooms movie, and people were being loud and on their phones and screaming, and through the whole movie. Ever since the Minecraft movie came out, no one knows how to sit in a theater. And I didn't want to pay all that money with the chance of it getting ruined like that. I'm like, I'd rather just watch it at home. Because it's fun to go to the movies, but you have to go either first thing in the morning when no one's there, or like on a Wednesday. Otherwise it's like you can't go on a Saturday night. Everyone obnoxious goes.
Yeah, I know. It's
like,
true.
I don't know where these people come from. They're fucking everywhere. Like all these people who go into public and they're just like screaming and being obnoxious. It's like, don't you have like, I don't know, didn't your parents try to raise you right or something? Like, I don't understand.
I know. It's ridiculous. So we had to wait to see it. And, it was worth it because we loved it. We'll get into that in a minute, but we'll take a break. And I'm going to put in a song from a band called Cultus Infernum, who, if you watch The Witching Hour and Welcome to Hell, Mike recently gave away some of their demos and stuff. You're already probably familiar with this band. They're based out of Houston. They're kind of brand new, and they've been circulating a demo. And one of the songs I'm going to put in is from the demo, which I bought. They did mini CDs, which I have not seen in a very long time, so it was very cool. But they're a great band, and I was like, I've been listening to it pretty regularly since I got the CD. So I'm going to put that in today. And I'm not sure which song yet. It's one of the songs. I think it's a 3-song demo. If you want it, I don't know if Goat Throne is still doing this, but Aaron is throwing in free copies of the demo whenever you order from Goat Throne until, supplies lasting or whatever. So go buy some shit from Goat Throne and you can get this demo for free. Like, look at me hyping Aaron up. You're fucking welcome. Just kidding. But, yeah, so I'm going to put in that song. And when we come back, it's going to get fucking weird in the best way. And I'm so ready to talk about this. Yes. So, yeah, enjoy the tunes and we'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back.
So,
yes,
it's time.
Cue the music.
We have been anticipating this for so long.
I'm so ready to talk about this movie.
Because I'm going to link this to, we did a whole episode about the Backrooms YouTube series, the original Kane Pixels, Kane Parsons series.
Which is what the movie is based on.
Yes, because Kane was heavily involved with this movie and he did a lot. So, it honestly, and by the way, spoilers. I'm gonna flash on the
if you don't
screen.
want to hear any spoilers about this movie, stop listening right now and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, or go listen to our episode about the Backrooms first, go watch the movie, and then come back because
we would love to have you.
We're talking about all of it. Yes. We're going to talk about all of it. So I'm going to flash across the screen real quickly. Spoilers. More fucking spoilers. So you've been warned. I don't want to hear it in the
really
comments.
Big and really bright and say spoilers.
Yeah. I don't want to fucking hear. I'm just giving myself more work.
You sure are.
You have been warned. So here we go. First impressions. So the YouTube series, it was mostly, if not almost all, completely CGI, which is fucking insane.
Yeah, and not AI, it's CGI. There's a big difference. Yeah.
Yeah, and just, it is like an art to create that level of CGI. He is, and how old is he? He's like 20?
He's 20. He started it when he was 16. And he's 20 now because it came out in 2022, I believe.
Yeah, oh my god, no, he just turned 21.
Okay, so 21.
In June. Yeah, so he's 21 years old.
Did it come out in 2022?
The series?
I was
live research.
First video release. Yeah, January 7, 2022. So he was 16, about to be 17. That's what it was.
That is crazy to me.
Yeah. I can't believe it.
He was so young doing that. So we just want to start off with that because he barely was even a legal adult when he made this. And it was in response to the, we talk about this in the other episode, but the abridged version being, the series was a response to a creepypasta that was made about a fictional space that you no-clip into, quote unquote, called the Backrooms. And it was based on that picture that we figured out was like from some furniture store in Wisconsin.
Yeah, someone found it. It was the back room of a furniture store in Wisconsin. And that post started on 4chan. A lot of people thought it was Reddit. It was actually 4chan that started it. It was a whole thread in the paranormal subreddit about like unnerving images, and that was one of them. And then someone made a caption about it, and then it just took off. Especially with Kane Parsons, who made an entire series about one picture, which is crazy. Yeah.
It's insane. So the talent is unreal. So, the concern with a lot of people is like how true it would be to, the original series. And it was true to the series. It's one of those things where there was some obviously extra stuff added in and artistic liberties taken, but like the first 5 minutes of the movie just feels like another video in the original series.
Because it starts off with, in the whole series is like a found footage kind of a style. So it's a guy filming it who's lost in the backrooms, and he, I believe, works for the company who's trying to figure it out, called A Corp. I think that's called
Async.
Or Async, that's it. Async Corporation. And so he's trying to find his way out, and he got really close because you figure out the room he was in was basically the room where the other survivors of it are staying or whatever, like the company people are staying. And he made it this close, and then he was done. So and all this stuff was there too.
Yeah, it was basically like another found footage video, because in the series there's like 3 or 4, maybe there's more, I don't know, I don't have it in front of me, found footage videos. So it very much felt like that, and I was like, oh, we're starting off on the right foot. And then of course it goes immediately into the cinematic aspect talking about Clark and his furniture store, and how his furniture store basically was like a threshold for the Backrooms.
It was one of the portals to it.
Yeah, a portal, I should say. And how a lot of his stuff had like been missing, and it ended up there, and it was just like different.
And they were using his electricity because his electricity bill was getting really high, and things kept coming in and out of it, like that rat.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. Also, fun fact: when the fly was in there towards the end of the movie, when the therapist was going to go in, that fly was really on set, and they worked it so it would go through the back rooms in the movie because they could not get rid of the fly.
That's amazing.
Isn't that so funny?
That is so funny. And
I thought that was a fun fact.
Now that, because I was wondering, I'm like, what? And I think the fly was to, make emphasis on like, oh yeah, this is where you go in. But like the fact that they were just like, we're just going to let it live its life and just be in the back rooms with us is hilarious. So
yes.
Good little Easter egg there. But that was a great Easter egg. And just compared to the original series, it's like we see a little bit more of like, or we learn a little bit more, I should say, how the Backrooms actually works. And like, there's that monologue towards the end, which is like my favorite part of the movie, where the therapist is tied up, Mary, and is just going on and on about like how he loves it there, and like he finally feels like he belongs somewhere, and like he explains how the people that wander in there are like mutations, basically, of like other people. They're called, what was the phrase that they use colloquially, is still lives, I think.
Yeah, and basically what those people are, though, and I looked this up, it's memories of people who exist, but the Backrooms doesn't remember them as how they actually are, and it's kind of like distorted a little bit. Like, how like in a dream, like it's people say like, oh, you dream about people that you see, even if you glance at them for 1 second or whatever, and you kind of remember what they look like in your dream. That's basically what it's trying to do, because the Backrooms is just this place where it remembers certain people, places, and all this kind of stuff. And over time, the memory of it gets distorted and fades because it doesn't remember it the way it's supposed to be. So they do a good job depicting that in the movie. Like, they have a house of how it's supposed to be, and then it goes down all these floors, and the house slowly like sinks and distorts and all this stuff. So I thought that was really cool, that it's not just like a place, it's a place full of memories of people and things. And that's why those people are like weird looking, like they have extra eyes, and their face is kind of like, it looks like a glitch kind of. I thought that was really cool. So
yeah, and that visual of, the house getting slowly distorted as you go down each level, it's kind of like, I don't know, the way I saw it two ways actually, was like kind of like how you tell a story, and then as it gets passed around, details get kind of like misinterpreted, and like the story kind of like shifts a little.
It's like telephone.
It's kind of like that. Yeah, like telephone.
Yeah.
So it's like a very intricate game of telephone that goes very wrong. And it also, some of it kind of reminds me, and we talked about this I think in the last episode, about AI. Like, it kind of reminds me, when you put something into like a AI generator and it kind of spits it out.
Yes.
Because it doesn't have the same kind of intelligence as like we do as like humans. So it's almost kind of like that, where they they reference this guy, and I don't think they reference it in the movie, but in the series, this guy Ivan Beck, who kind of is like the mastermind behind the Backrooms. And he created something that was like sorta could remember and sorta intelligent, but it wasn't like it was flawed. It wasn't perfect, because people were in there like with extra eyes, extra limbs, fucking like way too tall, just uncanny valley vibes. And I like that they included that in the movie, because in the series you only really see, it looks like a black, like stringy, like monster thing, and that's all we see of the Backrooms. And it's like, we were led to believe for so long that this was the only entity that existed in the Backrooms, and it was meant to like chase you and stuff. And then in the movie we find out, that this thing can mutate into other people, like you said, that actually exist, and it's like memories of people, or like ideas of people. And it's not just this black like monstery thing, you know. It's like it looks like a giant ant to me. We don't have Ant-Man, you know, like running around. It's just like, you know, there's actual like people and like fragments of people in there, and it's like that was so crazy because that, I'm telling you, that scene was the best part of the movie, because when, you know, you finally see that there's multiple people in there, but they're not like attacking you. They're not like, you know, they're just kind of like sitting there, and it's just like, holy shit, you know. That was a very cool visual element to me. So yeah, it was great, you know. And even Clark's whole story too about like, you know, go ahead.
And the way he goes in the movie too, and how it's like the entity in the Backrooms that we see in the movie is basically like, it's all your fears and mistakes and the bad parts of who you are as a person. It shifts depending on the person that it's, you know, attaching to. And when it attached to Clark, it was like he had so many problems with not taking accountability for the fact that he fucked up his own life and wanted to blame everyone else. And his therapist finally told him, you know what, you don't have to have my help. You know, like, you could just do whatever you want at this point. Like, I'm trying to help you, but if you don't want to listen, that's your own problem. So he tells, the entity comes in, and it's like him dressed up as like the pirate. And that's kind of like the symbol of like, I forgot what I was reading about it. I forgot what the symbol actually means, but it's basically like the symbol of who he became, you know, because he wanted to be an architect, but he sold furniture to make ends meet. And he did that to himself. He could have became an architect. And that's what his therapist was trying to tell him. And so he tells the entity that looks like him that we don't have to worry. We can just be ourselves and we don't have to change, blah, blah, blah. And the entity eats him, like literally. And it looks like him. It's like a not fiberglass. What is that? Like,
resin?
No, plaster. It looks like a plaster like version of him with these bug eyes and in this costume. It looked off-putting, but it wasn't like the best. I thought it was going to be like more demonic looking than that for sure. You know? Yeah,
well, because it's more of like a psychological thriller, and you know, it's just meant for uncanny vibes. It's not really meant to be like a true horror movie. But honestly, more blood than I was expecting in this movie. I wasn't expecting any blood. So that was fucking wild. Like, not even just, there's a seagull that flies in and gets yeeted across the back rooms, and you know,
that was the only jump scare for me the entire movie, was that fucking seagull getting yeeted across the hallway. And I'm like, God almighty.
Yeah, not even that scared the shit.
Yeah, not even the monster scared me. It was like, you know, it was that damn seagull. And then you see it like later and it's all bloody and like torn to shreds. It was a poor thing. But, you know, unless it's a seagull that stole my fucking Cheez-Its, fuck that seagull. Otherwise, any other one is fine.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Oh, I don't know if I told that story on here, but quickest, you know, abridged version of it. I was waiting in my car in high school, waiting to pick up Meg because I got out early and see my senior year. I had a bag of small Cheez-Its. I was eating them. I had the window down. Seagull comes down, steals the Cheez-Its out of my hand, flies on the roof of the school and eats my Cheez-Its right in front of me. I was pissed, but I hit my head from jumping so high in the car. That's what happened. So anyway, fuck seagulls. They're fucking assholes.
Dude, when I got in the car and you told me that, I laughed the entire way home. I was inconsolable.
Yeah, so did our parents, who weren't concerned for my safety, but the fact that happened. God almighty.
Dad asked first, you know, if he, you know, bit you or something.
True. Mom just laughed. She didn't care. She was like, she thought it was funny.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that was like the only real jump scare. Although the worst part for me was at the chase scene at the end, and she comes to that staircase with no guardrail or anything.
Hated that. And quickest theory about like why it's so endless. I think it's because, you know, because it makes memories of like everything that it knows about. So I'm going to theorize that it's been making memories since the beginning of time in that place. And the older it is, the farther down it gets. So you would have to go back to the beginning of human history to get to the bottom of that thing. You would die before that would happen. And the top part is the newest memories. That's why she was able to get out, because that was the newest memory.
Dude, that's crazy.
Does that make a lot of sense or what? I saw someone say that. Like, I totally agree with that.
I agree with that too, because why else would it be so vast? You know, like think about every person that has existed since the beginning of time.
And every memory that it can remember since the beginning of time. That is a lot of floors. A lot.
That's insane. And it kind of was like to me, it felt like a throwback to Kane's other series, The Oldest View.
Yes.
At the end of that series, in order to escape, he had to like climb up on the ceiling, and there was like the door there, and he had to get out that way, but ultimately falls to his death. And which I was expecting for Mary to like, you know, fall to her fucking death, you know?
Yeah.
Like on either side.
Right. And in the wiki for the Backrooms, really fast, so the yellow rooms that we're used to, that's called level 0. That's the very beginning of the Backrooms. And the lower you go, the harder it is to get out, because there's not easy ways to get out. So I just wanted to throw that in there too.
Yeah. So, you know, she is, you know, on either, you know, on the staircase about to meet her doom, you know, and when she opened the door and it fell on her, I was like, Lord, I'm terrified of heights, so I could not watch that.
I know. And as she's doing that, the entity's trying to break down the other door that she closed. So.
Yeah. And it was like so tense for me. And then eventually she gets out, but I was like, holy fucking shit.
Yeah.
You know, that was so terrifying. I couldn't even like fathom. I was like, ugh. But, you know, in relation to, you know, the original series, it definitely felt like an extension. Even the added like elements of like Clark and like, you know, his employees and stuff like that, it still very much felt like another episode of, you know, the original series, which Kane, like 1,000 out of 10, did like a great job of still capturing like a, you know, small like YouTube creator, quote unquote, like feel in a cinematic way. And it's not easy to do.
Yes. And I did see an interview of him where he said he wanted to do like a regular Backrooms episode, but with the movie budget. That was the whole point of it. So yeah, why it felt a lot like, you know, the actual series, because that was his intention. I can't talk today. I'm sorry. That was his intention.
No, it's fine.
So
yeah, because like even like the subplots, like with his therapist Mary and like what happened to her, and
and her mom being like schizophrenic or whatever, because you could tell she had schizophrenia, like boarding up all the windows and not having her not go outside and answer the door. That's schizophrenia behavior.
Well, then they show that scene of her, you know, in the psychiatric hospital or whatever. So we assumed there was something wrong upstairs, but you know, just even that, and like the stark contrast between her ability to take, you know, her wrongdoings and turn it into something positive, while Clark is like the very opposite. It's like he fucks up, and instead of taking responsibility, he projects on other people and gets other people involved and blames them. And
I mean, typical,
you know,
behavior. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Sorry. But listen, men, get in touch with your emotions, okay? It doesn't make you a wimp. It's okay. Feel something.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's okay. We promise you'll be fine. But you know, it's just like you see like the dynamic of them, and then you see Clark's own ignorance and inability to change ultimately, like quite literally swallows him whole, you know, as like that, you know, entity of him swallows him whole. It's like a metaphor for like, I let this get the best of me and now it's taken my life. Mary, on the other hand, is like, I refuse to let this shit get to me. She gets the fuck out, you know, not completely, because she runs into async while she's trying to
Phil,
escape.
Who we see halfway through the movie, because when Clark first goes into the Backrooms and he first discovers it, they had a camera on a wall, and it was like a surveillance camera that he saw Clark in the room. And so later he, you know, asked Mary about like, was, you know, when they find her and he interviews her, he's like, was it at this store? And was this the man there? And whatever, blah, blah, blah. And she refused to answer questions after a while because she wanted to know what the fuck was going on, if she could leave. But they obviously couldn't let her leave because they don't even know how to get out. Like, they're stuck too. So it kind of left the movie because that's the very end of the movie. It left it on a cliffhanger. So I think there's at least going to be a second movie, if not.
Yeah, and if I were to make a prediction, the second movie would be very heavy on async and their backstory, and you know, because we're introduced to them briefly, I would say, in the movie, you know, the first one.
Especially in the beginning with the guy running around who's part of Async. And, you know, we'll probably find out more about him and how he got in there and, you know, how they established a base in the Backrooms. And, like, you know, they're trying to figure out information about it, which I totally understand. But, like, can't keep people hostage, dude. You know, it's like.
And, you know, my only complaint would be I wish they had given a little bit more context on Async rather than kind of like trying to fit it in right away at the end. Because, well, if you watch the YouTube series, they go into depth about company there and stuff. Like they have like several videos dedicated to them. So, you know, if you haven't seen the YouTube series, it might be a little confusing, but we be knowing. So
yeah, and you know what? I think they did it on purpose, so they kind of left it on a cliffhanger so they can go into it in the next movie. You know, like the next, like you said, it might be heavy on Async and like how they became a company and all that stuff. So, because he said he used to sell, what was it? He used to sell something else, but now he works for Async. It was.
They used to make MRI machines.
That's it. Yeah, he used to be an MRI machine maker, and now he's working as a scientist in the Backrooms. It's crazy, you know, and trying to figure that whole thing out.
Yeah, so if you want more background on them, I would highly suggest watching the series because they provide a lot more context as to like who the fuck they are and like how they got there in the first place.
By the way, I just quickly looked up the wiki of Ivan Beck, and he was the vice director of Async. That's why he's so important. He founded the company.
Gotcha.
So
well,
he helped find it, I think. I don't know who actually found it. I don't know who their name is, but that's mentioned in the YouTube series also. So there's more context there. But yeah, no, we were very pleased with this movie because, you know, I know you didn't really care for like the, I don't know what to call them other than like monsters, you know, like the fungi, whatever they are that like mutate and stuff. I know you were like, yeah, this wasn't that scary, but you know, I liked it because it was Uncanny Valley. It very much reminded me of like, you know, like some weird abstract art or something like that. Like, you know, especially like the dude with like the multiple eyes or, you know, shit like that. It's like, yeah, if you were just casually perusing the Backrooms. I didn't say it was scary. I didn't say it was
scary.
No,
I said you didn't. No, you said, I said you didn't think it was that scary.
Oh, okay. I misheard. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's because I remember you were like, yeah, no, this isn't like this wasn't like the scariest, you know, thing ever, but
I mean, the people, like the still life people or whatever, they were a little unnerving, but the actual monster itself, like the way it like mutated or whatever into like Clark, I don't know, that didn't scare me as bad, but getting chased by that thing because it's so tall is scary. I think I'd be more scared if I saw what it truly looked like, you know, and which I hope they do in the next movie, if they do a next movie, and I hope they bring up the little monster from the very first Backrooms video that's like a radio type of thing, or it's all covered in wires or whatever. I want to know what the fuck that thing is. I want to know more about that. And I'm sure there's like wiki pages about it, but I want to see it in the movies for context. Like that would be really great.
Yeah. Because it was really well done, you know, and the pacing of it was good because look, I'm about to piss a lot of people off. Like a lot of modern horror, especially like stuff like Midsummer and stuff like that, is so fucking slow. It takes like 45 minutes for anything to happen. You know? And it's like, God, within the first minute of the movie, we are in the Backrooms. It's like, this movie's called The Backrooms, and here we are. Like, thank God, you know? Like, getting right to it, because it's like, you know, I don't want to sit here and like have this long drawn out fucking thing. It's called The Backrooms, and most of the movie's in a furniture store. You know what I mean? Like, because it very easily could have been that. So I really like the way they paced it, and you know,
and how like more than half the movie was in the Backrooms.
Yeah, so, because it was like almost 2 hour.
Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say it was almost a 2 hour movie, and I would say maybe like 20 minutes of that is not in the Backrooms. So
it's,
thank God.
Especially in the beginning, the very beginning, because they have to set a plot and they have to, you know, it's like that's mainly not in the Backrooms. But like once he's in there, they're basically in there for the rest of the movie. Yeah, you know, except for like a little bit.
And here's the thing too, like with the original series, a lot of it is very like setting based. You know, the found footage stuff. It's literally just filming your surroundings, and it wouldn't have felt as authentic, I think, if it was just like about, Clark at his furniture store, and then, oh yeah, this weird thing called the Backrooms, like that's why I felt more true to this, the original series, is because, they didn't that was the focal point still, and it wasn't just like, oh yeah, no, by the way, this weird anomaly has happened and this is like this weird space and check this out, it was much more emphasized on this is a fucking terrifying place.
Mm-hmm.
But it's supposed to be. So, I like that too. Big plus for me, because, I was afraid that it was going to be mostly just dialogue and, just stuff like that, because a lot of movie adaptations, of, other series or books or stuff, try to include information, and they do that through dialogue mostly. And, it's hard to incorporate that, into a setting that's mostly visual. So, I'm kind of glad that they found a good balance with everything, is my point.
Yeah. And I like too how they used a lot of foreshadowing in the movies, from the very beginning to the end. It was little clues about stuff that was going to happen, the way he found the Backrooms, and different themes that were just kind of hinted towards the whole movie. I can't think of anything specifically, but it was very consistent through the whole movie of they set it up in a way that you could kind of figure out what's going on, and then when it happens, you're like, oh, I had a feeling this is what was going to happen. So, but it wasn't a big spoiler either, because it could have went either way for some stuff. But I just really like the use of foreshadowing and imagery and perspective, especially some of the shots in the movie are beautifully done because of the perspective of it, especially holes in the wall, little cracks in the wall, and you look through it and it's you see a bunch of hallways and whatever, and you have your back turned, you think someone could be behind them at any second, but there isn't. It's the suspense of it and the perspective of where they are and what's happening. It's just beautifully done. Alone, if you don't care about the story of that movie, the cinematography itself is just incredible. And I'm not one to oh, sorry.
I was just saying that to me is the essence of the Backrooms, is creating a sense of vulnerability, because it is this open space. You don't have anywhere to hide if something's coming,
right.
And the movie still captured that.
Yeah. And I'm not one for cinematography. I don't care about that. But I really noticed it in this movie. As someone who doesn't even care about it, I, was very impressed, because I think there's nothing better than putting in shots like that in movies, and people who don't really care about it actually care. Because that means, I don't know, for me anyways, I feel that's a sign of it being really well done, and attention to detail, because it's not just the shot, it's the noises, it's the atmosphere, it's the surround, it's everything. It plays a part in it too. And that, just adds up in the end, and it creates a better experience of what he's trying to do, because the whole point of the Backrooms was that it was the unknown. You don't know what's in there, if there's anything in there with you at all. So that was the whole, the initial post about it. That's what it talked about. And they talked about going, no clipping out of it. So in the movie, they go through a portal, but the very first video, he fell through the ground into the Backrooms, which was a portal that he couldn't see. So you can get in any which way. You can do it yourself. You could just fall into it. That's the no clipping. For anyone who doesn't know what that means, it's in video games when you just kind of fall off the map that you're on or something. That's called a no clip. So
because think about how the Backrooms is, there's staircases that don't make sense and ramps and shit that goes up. Physics isn't a factor in the Backrooms. So yeah, you could get into it any which way, because the laws of gravity and physics don't really apply there.
Mm-hmm. And
what I love too is that, Kane being so young, understands how people get infuriated when it's a movie comes out and it just butchers a story and stuff. So it's I like that he very much, not even just to appease the audience, but, for himself, it's I want to produce something that is canon and true to my original vision. So that, very impressive, I think.
Yeah, I believe that's impressive too. And I don't know, he really has a knack for detail, and I was just very impressed with the way he put the whole movie together. honestly.
Yeah, and
like how it just really, it's like an extension of the series itself, you know? And just to go back to what I was saying really quick too about no clipping, it's like the first guy who, you know, in the first video of the series who fell in, he fell through the ground, but when he got out, he was falling from the fucking sky. And I'm talking like skydiving height falling. And he ends up falling to the ground to his death, but the camera survived miraculously. But, you know, I just think that's
I don't
crazy
know how that happened.
I know, but that's just the portal that he fell through in the Backrooms. It could be in the sky, it could be in the ground, it could be in a house, it could be in a store, it could be anywhere. Like, you don't know. And that's like the thing that's scary about it. You don't know if and when you're going to get into the Backrooms, but it could happen.
Yeah, fucks with your perception and, like, you know, how to trust what's really in front of you. Because again, you know, the Backrooms distorts everything, you know, like chairs embedded in the ground and things like, oh yeah, this is her shoe, but it looks like the idea of a shoe, you know, like it's not fully a shoe. And like, you know, so it's hard to like trust what you're seeing when everything around you looks so off, you know, like I said, uncanny valley vibes. Also love, by the way, that the original picture that we were talking about, the furniture store in Wisconsin, that they also gave a nod to that by having him work at a furniture store and having it take place there. Like, good touch. You know, we were all very happy with that because it is a nod to the original post about it. And, you know, Kane kind of going like, yeah, I acknowledge that this is where it came from, but I'm just taking it and running with it in a different direction. And so
I think that's so commendable because I can't tell you how many people now take an idea and like, well, I'm putting my creative twist in the idea instead of taking the idea and sticking to the original point of the idea and then putting a twist on it. Like Kane did, you know, and that's why I think that's why so many people love the Backrooms, because it still stays true to the original post and idea about what the Backrooms is. He just added his own twist to it. And that, I don't think you could have done that any better than what he did, honestly. Yeah. At 16, and honestly, mind you.
Which is insane. Like, I like that it also still captured very much a liminal vibe, because the Backrooms is one of the original, like, liminal space things to exist, you know, and that's a whole other trend that we, you know, did another episode on, and, you know, we have talked about it extensively before, but, you know, keeping in mind that this is, you know, supposed to be a liminal space, and it's supposed to, you know, invoke like different emotions like nostalgia and loneliness and, you know, emptiness even, and just like all these things. And it's like, yeah, I think the Backrooms did that, because look at Clark, you know, he was lonely. He was, you know, not lonely, but alone, you know, like he was like a very solitary, lonely person. He had basically isolated himself unintentionally. And where does he end up, and where does he feel safe? In a place where he feels like, you know, he belongs, you know, even if it's with fragments of like other people that actually exist. He feels like he belongs there because he's finally with someone who isn't like questioning him and, you know, putting him down in his mind and, you know, all this stuff. And it's like, yeah, places like that are very appealing. So I like how Kane too also factored in that, like, you know, this is someone who resonates with a place like the Backrooms, because, you know, it's a place for him to go where he feels safe and, you know, like it's familiar to him, you know, even though this took place in the 90s.
1990 was when it took place.
Yeah. And liminal spaces weren't really like a thing then. They were being, if not created in the 90s. Like,
yeah, it really plays on like millennials, especially who grew up in the 90s. That's like our thing, because we were born in 1992. So that would have been around the time like we grew up. We were familiar with things from our childhood. And the 90s was such like a happy time. There was no war. There was no anything bad going on, really. And it was a really enjoyable time in history, you know, like a good decade. And then once 2001 hit, when, you know, 9/11 happened, it's like the world just started to slowly decline again. It's like we worked so hard to get to that point, and it just got completely ruined by one person. So,
yeah. So, you know, it's like, yeah, like, you know, it's, I'm trying to think of how to articulate this. I just lost my train of thought. You know, it really does like tie in still with the liminal space and stuff, because we see that kind of like connection with Clark, you know, like him going in there and being like, it's kind of like how you and I, like, we see like, you know, the pool rooms, you know, which is a another level, quote unquote, of the Backrooms. And there were some pools in the movie too. I was very happy about that, briefly, but we got a pool. And it was like, it was just familiar for us because you and I love to go swimming as kids.
And you know what? That pool, though, it makes you think of like the YMCA pool. It's not like a pool we would have. It's like a pool we would go to in the summer for swimming lessons, if that makes sense.
Right.
It was very much like the same kind of, small square tile that was all white, and and I think that's why a lot of people resonate with that more, because that's places people probably went to as kids, YMCA's and gyms and stuff that had pools like that. So it wasn't really meant to be like a home pool.
Yeah, it's something familiar, so it's like there's all these different things that, especially like even Clark using like an RCT, TV or whatever. And, it's just like, wow, I haven't seen one of those in a long time, and so it's like there's elements of the movie too that kind of really hit home that like liminal, like nostalgic factor also, that I was very happy about, because it could have been done like 100 different ways. And the way that he chose to do it very much paid attention to, I don't know what to call it other than like the subculture of like people that love like liminal spaces and analog horror and things that are very nostalgic and stuff, which is very topical right now. Yeah. And this very much fed into that. Did you know in the first week that this came out, he made $100 million?
He made $80 million and got the whole budget of the movie back just from the preview week. Not even before it hit theaters. So if that says anything, but I believe in $100 million.
I was like, holy shit. Tell me the last time a movie grossed that much. And it was something that wasn't a remake. It wasn't like part 82 of another existing franchise or anything like that.
Yeah, not a Marvel movie, not Avatar. I mean, like original standalone movie. Well, Iron Lung, which is Markiplier's movie, that did really well too. I don't know how much it did, but I can look that up. Hold on.
But it's like it has been a long time. Like people have been starved for something different or something new. And given this was a YouTube series before it became a movie, but like it's like it has been a long time since people have seen something new. And it's like, it's obvious that, people are tired of like the same fucking remakes and same bullshit.
It's original idea.
Nobody wants to go see them. Yeah. We want original ideas, and that just like is few and far between nowadays.
I know. And by the way, Iron Lung made 21 million its first weekend. So
oh my God.
Like less than half of what the Backrooms movie did. But Iron Lung was based off a game. So the game made a lot of money as well. So it was kind of like in conjunction. But Backrooms is also based off a YouTube series, which also made a lot of money.
Well, that's what I just said. So, it's like, given that, it's like maybe not totally quote unquote original, but it is original because it's not a movie franchise.
Yeah.
It's like it was exceeded my expectations. I was thoroughly happy with that, and I'm probably going to watch it again next week.
I know. I'm going to watch it again and just look for more things that I missed,
Yeah, because there's so many, like, he put in so many little, like, Easter eggs and stuff like that, and I'll have them linked too. The channel, the Film Theorists, did a few videos about the Backrooms, and they explain so much, because they take the time to go and, like, frame by frame break stuff down.
That's why I love Film Theory, Game Theory, all of that, because they are so in depth with their analysis. And it's like, I wouldn't have noticed that if I didn't take 15 hours to look at it myself. So,
So, they do the heavy lifting for us, basically. So definitely check those out too if you want to like know a little bit more. We kind of jumped all over the place, like you knew what we were talking about, but go see the movie, honestly. Like, go see it or buy it. Like, excuse me, we're big fans, and highly, highly recommend it, because, there's just so many different like layers and themes, and it touches on so much too. Not even just like, the nostalgia factor, but just like about mental health, self-worth, like all these things. It became very deep, very quickly.
It's more than just a creepy room. It's got a lot more to it.
So, yeah, there's a lot of metaphorical things in there. So definitely, you know, give it a couple watches, even if you're interested in that kind of thing, because there's a lot to unpack. More than we can fit in one fucking episode, honestly. So,
yeah.
But, yeah, so that's what we thought about the Backrooms. You know, we love it. And we'll probably continue to talk about analog horror and, you know, liminal shit and stuff like that indefinitely for the future. You know, it's just because we love it, you know? So, with that being said, it felt good to do a podcast finally. After I checked, our last podcast before this was at the end of April. It is now July 16th.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah. So we were happy to come back and record this. And yeah, so, you know, we appreciate you listening also. Let us know in the comments what you think. If you saw the movie, if you didn't, if you think it's stupid, you know, let us know what you think. Because, you know, we're
just don't thumbs down our podcast, because we're just the messenger. We didn't make the movie. So
yeah. Unless you actually hate us or something, then whatever. But
I don't care anymore. Just hate me then. I'm tired. So
yeah, I know. It's like, it's too damn hot to be given a fuck, you know?
It's too damn hot, it's too damn expensive, and the fucks are completely gone for me to just care about you hating me at this point.
Dude, I told you, it's a fuck famine, which, by the way, it's the stupidest fucking thing I've ever said in my life. But, you know, we're in a fuck famine right now.
How is it stupid when it's true? You know?
I mean,
the fucks are gone. They've went on vacation. They're not coming back. It's a fuck famine. So
they didn't even go on vacation. They simply do not exist.
They moved abroad.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fucks lived out in Spain, in like Barcelona or something like that. They're not here.
They're living in a cave, taking their chances with the wildlife.
Yeah, or
right
something.
Now.
So
yeah.
Anyway,
what song are you putting in, Lauren?
Well, I'm putting in a song from Vader because they're doing a tour, and my husband and I got tickets, and we're gonna go see them in September, I think, September 12th. Oh, yeah. So that's gonna be really awesome because I've not seen Vader in over like 15 years or something like that. It's been a lot. No, 2010. Yeah, it's been like 16
Is that when
years.
We saw them?
Yeah, I looked it up. So we bought tickets to go see them because my husband's obsessed with Vader, and like, I'm like, well, they're coming to Connecticut, and he's like, what? So we paid for tickets and we're going. And I'm putting in a song for them because I like Vader a lot. That's it. I don't have a reason today. I'm throwing them in because it's the first thing I thought of because I bought tickets to their show, and I just I can't be bothered to like. Because sometimes we're putting songs and I'm like, this is the song I listened to when I first had a hot dog. And it's like, I don't care today. I'm putting in Vader. I don't even remember what song I listened to when I first had it. I was probably like one. It was probably like, you know,
like fucking Steels and Crofts or something.
Steels and Crofts or like Earth, Wind and Fire. I don't remember. So
I'm just trying to think about like what our parents listened to, like Bruce Springsteen.
Kansas, you know? Something like that.
It'd be Kansas.
Carry On My Wayward Son was playing while I had my first hot dog.
Yeah. Something like that. Whatever the fuck was on the radio in the early 90s.
That's ironic. If they cut up the hot dog, it's like, because it's about a son and it's like you're cutting up his wiener. Anyway, I gotta go.
But that being said, we'll be back at some point. Who knows when? It could be 6 months from now. It could be 2 days from now. We don't know. It's possibly 2 days from now. But we'll be back soon.
Yes.
We'll try to record when we can. I don't know what the next episode will be. It'll just be, you know, we'll have to, if there's an update with this Conjuring shit, we're coming back. So
okay, we can do that.
Maybe we'll do a little bite-sized episode about it or something. But, you know, thank you for joining us. Let us know what you think about the Backrooms. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, you know, the like, let us know. But yeah, enjoy Vader, right? Yeah, Vader. And we will see you soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye.